Okay, Assalamualaikum and hi. Before we start, can you introduce yourself?
Okay, hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is Wan Zuhaimi bin Wan Saiful Bahrain, and I'm 27 years old.
Alright, we will start with the first questions.
Okay, the first question is how do you involve yourself into these sports? Is it from your own interest when you see the game is quite progressive, or do you start it by trying this sport in university?
Okay, this I started joining Frisbee during my studies in Malacca. My housemate introduced me to the world of Ultimate Frisbee. He bought a Frisbee disc and invited me to throw with him in one evening. So I joined him because as a friend because we were both bored and nothing else to do. So, but eventually I developed an interest in the sport and choose to join my university team, UFO. And then from there I started to train with them and I joined many competition. So my most memorable tournaments would be Mixed Nationals 2019 in Ipoh, and the other one would be Shah Alam Open in 2019 in Shah Alam.
Next question is how is the community between the players? Do you play with the same group every week, and do all of the players know each other?
The community is one of the key reasons I started to play frisbee because they are so positive and encouraging, and they welcome newcomers to the sport with open arms, regardless of their background, age, gender, or race. So that no one feels left out. The community treats all ultimate players as a family. Yes, we are very familiar with majority of the ultimate players because most of us meet during a weekly pickup. So a pickup is a game where we meet during a in a certain time at a certain place.
Okay, the third question is do you learn from other players too? For example, maybe you try to imitate what they do, or do you learn their skills and techniques by watching them?
Yes, of course. Certain players play in a different way. So I usually watch experienced player to see what kind of gameplay they use in games and I try to replicate them during training. However, this not always succeed. But if I'm really determined to learn a new skill, I'll approach the players and ask them to teach me. So learning a new skills and tactics is beneficial because there are different types of players to compete during ultimate frisbee game. So as a result, we must adapt to various strategies and techniques for each of them.
Next question is when you tell someone that you play frisbee as your main sport, what is their first reaction? Maybe some of them don't even know what ultimate is. Do they intrigued by the sport?
It is dependent on some people. Sometimes I receive a positive response, and other times I receive a negative response. So the negative response usually came from a person who has no knowledge about ultimate frisbee. So they commonly call it as a dog toy because probably because of what they've seen in Western films. So I've been in this situation so many times that all I can do is just grin at myself and ignore them. But people who are intrigued about what type of sport is ultimate frisbee is, on the other hand, usually respond positively. So because they may know a little bit about ultimate frisbee, but they are never exposed about it.
My last question is do you think the teenagers are drawn to the outdoors activity? Because as far as I know, the counter culture for this teenage is staying in their room and they prefer plays video games rather than doing outdoor activities.
Okay, I don't believe that all teenagers are drawn to sit at home and play video games at all day. So because they will occasionally become bored and go outside to participate in any outdoor activity. Teenagers who prefer to stay at home, in my opinion, waste out on the enjoying the fun of the outdoor activities. So outdoor activities are frequently associated with physical activities that cause our body to release adrenaline. So which is what makes the outdoor activities enjoyable and fun. So although some outdoor activities are restricted in Malaysia because to the COVID outbreak right now, but there are others that may be done in smaller group or maybe just by playing ultimate frisbee. Ultimate frisbee is a non-contact sport and it can be played almost anywhere as long as there enough space.
All right, thank you for your answers. I will continue with the next question. So based on your answer just now, how are the players' participation into tournament? Is it always the same player who plays in the tournament? And as for you yourself, which position of the ultimate that you plays a lot and why?
Okay, based on my experience, I have absolutely enjoyed all of the tournaments that I have participated. So as I said before, the tournaments become so exciting due to the nature of the community. There is still competition throughout the game, but regardless who wins or who loses, both teams celebrate and cheer together afterward. Usually there are some familiar faces in all of the tournaments because some of us have known each other for a long time, even if they play for a different team. It is sometimes dependent on the location where the competition is held. If the competition is held somewhere I'm not familiar with, for example, somewhere at the Sabah or Sarawak, so because I never been there, so I meet new people and experience new challenges. So for a position of during Ultimate Games, I think maybe right now I'm playing handler, I guess.
If I'm not mistaken, the ultimate players don't want to sell out to referees. If there is a body contact during the game, the players themselves will settle it down among them. Don't you think that this situation makes the game hard to be competitive and fair?
Okay, I don't think having no referees in a game will make the game hard to be competitive and fair. In fact, having referees in games will bring up more issues. For example, some referee calls in a game will cause some dissatisfaction for some team. Sorry. So that is why Ultimate Frisbee does not have a referee and the players themselves become the referee. So next, Ultimate players hold on to the principal spirit of the game and Ultimate Frisbee is based on it. So it is up to the players to follow and enforce the rules. It includes attitude and skills, such as rule understanding and implementation, safe play, spatial awareness, and clear and calm communication, and a positive and respectful manners towards teammates, fans, the opponents, in a cooperative effort to preserve the fundamental joy of play. So basically, there are three rules or spirit of the game. The first one would be the competitor, because highly competitive play is encouraged, but not at the expense of the rules or the opponent. The second one would be teammate. Players are expected to support and advise teammates when there is a confusion about any calls or correct teammates about wrong or unnecessary calls. And the last one will be the official. All players should know the rules. Players are expected to only make any significant calls and resolve dispute respectfully while remaining open to other perspectives.
Alright, next. How do you attract more people to play in the game? Because many beginners feel that it is hard to play with the professional players and some of them are scared that they will come back with injuries after playing with the players on field.
Okay. Basically, I often use the same strategies to attract people to play frisbee. So I'll start by teaching them the basics of ultimate frisbee. So the three basics of ultimate frisbee would be throwing, catching, and cutting. So then comes the difficult part where how to figure out how to make them love ultimate frisbee. Yes, it is true that playing ultimate frisbee exposes you to the risk of injury, but it's also same to other sports. You may expose to the risk of injury, but only if they did not take any precautions such as stretching before game or making a dangerous play during the game. So those are the things that could be prevented. Following that, maybe I will make every effort to make all newcomers feel welcomed and treat them as if they were a family. So frisbee is a team sport. So thus we must develop chemistry both on and off the field. And it has been proven that teams with a high level of chemistry performs better in tournaments.
Alright. Well, I'm attracted to the Ultimate's nickname, as in my college we call them as Bison. So may I ask how the nickname become a part of the players? For example, maybe for you yourself, they will call you One Bison or anything else?
Okay, for your information, they don't call me One Zero Bison. They call me like my commercial name would be Abe. So it's my nickname Abe. So the name Abe is commercially used for people from the Frisbee community. And I believe the name Bison came from the college locations in Perak, and Perak is well known for its local mascot, the Bosgarus, which is a bison. So for the other teams, I'm not quite sure where the name came from, but I guess the creator of the team would make their team name as catchy as possible, so it will be remembered by other teams. So currently, I don't have any team right now, so I simply join any team if they invited me to join them for a game. And in the future, I hope to be able to join top nation teams like AUR, Roja, or Zealous. So these three teams are among the best in Malaysia. And if you want to join them, you must be selected and commit to come to their training session weekly.
Interesting. And for the last question, I would love to ask about the player's appearance. Sometimes a player tends to show their selfish style in order for them to look like a better player. Do you think that it is necessary, especially when going for a tournament?
Okay, in Ultimate Frisbee, you can't be selfish because unlike football, where you can control the ball all by yourself all the way to the goal post, because the game of Ultimate Frisbee is similar to the game of netball, because the player must pass to their teammates in order to build up the game. So furthermore, Frisbee is a team sport that cannot be played alone. So in Ultimate Frisbee, the term selfish refers to lack of trust in your teammates, where you pass a dish to a teammate and then immediately ask for it back. So that is why a team must train frequently and develop chemistry so that the players understand what type of gameplay and tactics for each teammate require. As a result, your team trust could be established. Okay, believe me when I say that if you put one professional player on a team full of beginners, the team will not win anything because it takes the entire team to win a game. In Ultimate Frisbee, individual performance does not reflect much rather than the team performance itself.
Alright, thank you so much for spending your time with us tonight, and I really hope to see you in one of the Malaysian Frisbee team one
Okay,
day.
thanks. Thanks, guys.